There's been outrage over President Cyril Ramaphosa's refusal to answer those questions relating to the robbery at his Phala Phala farm yesterday. Ramaphosa appeared before Parliament for a question and answer session, but he again dodged questions when asked to put the National Assembly into his confidence. Let's get some analysis now with political analyst Dr. Ebrahim Harvey. Doc, thank you very much for your time here on eNCA. Before yesterday happened, I think all South Africans who were watching that parliamentary process yesterday knew that the president was not going to fully answer the questions that the MPs were looking for, right? We always knew that he would not actually, divulge any more information except to say that law enforcement is investigating.
Yeah, thanks very much, man. Mondley's attempts to explain away what Ramaphosa did yesterday is pathetic, let me tell you. There are too many things said, but let me start off by saying Ramaphosa has not yet been charged. That is the important. If he was charged, you can understand he would be more circumspect to answer questions, etc. This man is a lawyer. I don't know who his legal advisors are. There are distinct ways. I speak to senior counsel. I've spoken to other lawyers who say rubbish. There are ways that he, as a lawyer, should know how to deal with questions, including in Parliament, that does not implicate him, but to some extent provide some kind of satisfactory responses. I was really disappointed. I thought that this time round, maybe, he'd say a little bit more than what he did with journalists before. He just refused to let the legalistic argument, let the law take its course. He has not been charged. The attempt to explain away, and to be honest with you, suddenly, conveniently, I'm not saying the wife was not ill, etc., but there he doesn't present himself. Not only does he not present himself, he fails again. Once again, he had an opportunity to win the confidence of, or at least to some extent, to say something meaningful and substantial to the media and to the members of Parliament who had the right. He's the president of this country. If a minister did that, it would be serious enough. But imagine how much more serious is it if you look at the charge sheet that has been opened up against Ramaphosa. I'm really disappointed. It's 40 years that I know this man, and I'm telling you, I've never been puzzled before by anything like that. Why he persists in refusing. He's digging himself into a bigger hole. South Africans are saying now, see, yet again, what is he hiding? Why can he not respond even, limitedly, just limitedly to these questions? And really, it's unpardonable, unforgivable, and in fact, unforgivable what he did yesterday in Parliament, besides the fact that he wasn't present in Parliament and apparently his wife was not ill. I'm just saying it's a bit convenient, honestly, that, this is what happened,
So he missed an opportunity to at least try to take the public into his confidence and forget about the fact that it's MPs from an opposition party asking him these questions. But also remember that South Africans are also watching and listening to what he's saying, looking at his body language, etc. So in terms of the fact that that Section 189 is going to take place in Parliament against him, that impeachment process, or whether or not he should actually be removed from his position, it's going to take place, and by tomorrow opposition parties must have already brought in the names of the people that they want to represent them in this process. Do you think that that will give us more answers at all?
Hey, man, Masego, let me tell you what this man has done. I don't understand who is advising him. What he has done is to strengthen the case for impeachment. He strengthened the case for impeachment. I mean, people are saying after yesterday, once again, and not presenting in Parliament and had nothing to say, basically, he has strengthened the case for impeachment, and he doesn't understand all of this can lead to, well, the NPA has not yet preferred charges, but once charges are preferred, and he has to step aside in terms of the NC's rule, he might probably not even be a contender for the presidency or for re-election in December. I don't know really how he's appraising this matter, and whoever is informing and advising Ramaphosa, especially from the legal point of view, it's downright wrong. And I mean, I've spoken to some senior counsel who find it ridiculous what he's doing and refusing totally again yesterday in Parliament, man. This is Parliament. This is not in some press conference, The MPs have a right to interrogate him because their primary duty is to hold the executive,
especially,
of which ahead.
Exactly, especially looking at the fact that these were questions that he had on his desk for about 2 weeks. He could have prepared his answer. He was at home, so he could have actually written down exactly what he wanted to say, right? And then say it, but with a bit more information.
I mean, he's his own worst enemy, incredibly so. Honestly, you know, legal people, I'm sure, are shaking their heads too. I mean, what rationale it can serve, what wisdom that evades us it can serve, I don't know. And I've given so much thought to this. I've written about it in my column, etc. And it's just astounding, really. But the EFF, honestly, you know, they had some good points, but really, I think the theatrics of the EFF must stop, really. The EFF is penchant for the abuse of, calling to order and raising questions of order, etc. They've overdone it, really. And I feel they're doing their presence in parliaments also a disservice, although that shouldn't detract from what Ramaphosa did yesterday again in parliament, really. It's just incredible, and he just doesn't realize. I think he has dug himself into a bigger hole, you know, regarding the charges and the impeachment process, you know, and in fact, making things more difficult for him to stand for re-election in December. What do you think? He's an antagonist in the opposing faction. He's saying, just look at him. This is what they're saying. Just look at what he did yesterday again.
So this could be the
situation completely.
So this could be the straw that breaks the camel's back in terms of the president possibly not even finishing his term if evidence comes out. And obviously, you know, a lot of people would say that he didn't steal the state's money, but it's still something wrong that he did, and still in his capacity as president. But tell me, in terms of the fact that you have the Integrity Commission or Committee of the ANC that met with him on the week of the policy conference. That was now in July, the end of July. It's been more than a month. Is it normal for them to take this long to get back and give a report on what they found against the president, or are they also going to have the excuse that law enforcement is also investigating?
Now, just, you know, in answer to your question, just look at the record of the NPA. Look at what although Zondo didn't take it to its logical conclusion, the NPA has much to answer for. So if the NPA danced around and delayed and never got to actually indicate that the people who've been brought before them, you know, they have a lot to answer for. Can you imagine how much more hesitant, reticent are they going to be with Ramaphosa as head of state and the ANC president? I mean, you know, I'd be very surprised and shocked, in fact, if the NPA should prefer charges against Ramaphosa. I mean, it's not an integrity committee, it's a misnomer. There's no way the ANC has got an integrity committee. They're without integrity regarding the main purpose of what they're supposed to do. That is why we partly sit in this problem, you know, because if the law enforcement agencies, the police cannot do their work unless the NPA has preferred charges. You know, the NPA has got much to ask for. And if you look at the Zondo Commission inquiry, although what the Zondo did, it never took things to its logical conclusion about the NPA being accountable and answerable for the delays in prosecutions.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, Dr. Harvey, and thank you for your time. It's going to be interesting what happens in the next few weeks, because the president is expected to meet with the Reserve Bank, of course, because of the fact that he had foreign currency of that amount hidden in his house. That was Dr. Harvey. He is a political analyst. Now,